Welcome to the show, everybody. Happy Friday. This is the Paul Harrell program. Sorry, Eric, I didn't turn your headphones down, brother. It just went like this. All right, you should be good now. Welcome to the show. We got a great show for you. So I don't know if you guys remember in the classic original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle episode where they discover the Foot Clan are in fact not humans, but they're robots. Michelangelo says, dudes, not... These guys are robots. We're going to talk about robots. We're going to talk about, realistically, like, how soon is it going to be until we've got, like, a robot in every home? Because Eric, our friend in seat number 3 today, he was at the Marriott Hotel in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and they had a concierge that was giving him restaurant recommendations, but he was a robot. And we're going to talk about how quickly we're going to see this materialize, and we're going to introduce a new segment. Happy Friday. Good morning to you. The Paul Harrell program starts right now.
The Paul Harrell program.
All right, folks, as always, we are broadcasting live from the great state of Arkansas, and really do appreciate you being with us here on Live from America. Make sure... By the way, I appreciate Jeremy Harrell. He now said at the end of his show, just a second ago, he said that this show is arguably his favorite. Oh, I will say that he's changing just a little bit.
He's putting a qualifier on it.
He said favor. I mean, it was not a qualified statement a couple of days ago.
There can be no debate.
Right. That's right. Of this, there can be no debate. Anyway, my co-host Rob Spencer is in seat number 2.
Oh, it's great to be with you as always. It's always fantastic when we've got Eric in studio giving us a first-hand account of how crazy these robots are. When he sent that, I mean, it was interesting when we were talking about it in the group text. And so we're going to go over that as the lead. And, of course, you know, the nation awaits for
Lindsay Clancy.
This Lindsay Clancy verdict is in the hands of the jury. And if there is breaking news on that, we're going to cover that in a couple of topics here. And but if there is breaking news with that, of course, we will come in with that. A lot of legal experts now that I'm seeing are saying, I think it's ridiculous, but I think there's a chance she could walk. And she won't walk. She'll get some sort of order. Well, oh, sorry, that was a bad pun. She's now paralyzed.
My goodness.
Yeah. So I did not mean it that way. Sometimes, for those who don't know, she's now paralyzed when in her failed attempt to kill herself.
That handicap sticker on her car ain't going anywhere, Rob.
And we went off the rails.
Yeah.
But anyway, what they were saying is that they will then start the order of having her committed for a length of time. But there is a chance in the future that she would roll out of that medical.
Roll it. No, come on. Now you're just doing it on purpose.
No, listen.
Put that back in the bottle now, bro.
It's Massachusetts. If she doesn't get convicted, now I don't even want to say the word walk. If she doesn't get convicted, it's Massachusetts, and this is what's called fifth wave feminism, and it is insane. I mean, it's funny that we're debating insanity versus psychosis or crazy or whatever it is, but it is actually insane.
I have a friend who lives up there, and her and her husband are like conservatives in this blue state, and Massachusetts it's just outrageous. If this person was in Texas, this trial would have been a one-day trial and it had been over and all of that stuff. And so obviously making light of a difficult situation. But I'll say this, if you want to hear something just truly gut-wrenching, listen to the closing arguments by the prosecutor. She did a phenomenal job, and it was heart-wrenching because she walked through those murders. And so let's make sure we keep that. We'll get to that later in the show.
Eric Haynes is with us, seat number 3. Thank you, sir, for being with us. It's always
great to be part of the conversation back in town.
And you're back, too. That's the thing. Sorry, I've got the wrong lower third there.
I made it.
And you're back from Tulsa. We have the video. Let's go ahead and start with the video. Let's go full screen here. We'll get the three of us.
This is Eric's video.
This is Eric's video. It's actually titled Eric's Robot Experience in Tulsa.
Yeah, so you'll hear this southern voice, trying to talk to this AI robot. That's our very own Eric Haynes.
All right, here we go. This is Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Why the hell does he have a bicycle helmet
I know,
on?
it kind of makes him look less smart.
Hey, can you recommend a restaurant for dinner?
A robot at the Special Olympics.
How about the Tall Grass Bar and Grill, right here in the hotel, just to your right past the ramp? If you're feeling adventurous outside, Mother Road Market's got a fair bit of variety. Or India Palace for some chicken tikka masala. Or if you're craving bold Cajun flavors, Nola's is a mighty fine pick.
Thanks so much.
We'd love to hear about your dining experiences. Have you had a chance to enjoy the breakfast buffet, or perhaps a quiet evening at Tall Grass Bar and Grill?
No.
Fair enough. Can't complain then. You just let me know if anything changes, all right?
All right.
All
Eric,
right.
So you sent that to us, and you're talking about how creepy it was. So
Yeah.
we got to have more detail.
Oh yeah, I just want to say this: the hip hop patriot in our comments, Jeremy Harrell, says that is the Special Olympics robot. If you guys remember that, do you guys remember that? The
South Park, right top of the South Park.
It's it was the Muppet Show, and it's not but it was like an adult Muppets, and it was on Comedy Central. I can't remember. Forgive me, but it was like stand up. The voices were stand up comedians.
Okay.
It was just the most offensive thing ever. It would never fly today. Jimmy Kimmel was behind it, all of that stuff. Please, if you guys can remember that show, drop it in the comments. But there was a character who wore a helmet in there, and his name was Special Ed. And he was like, "Yay!
Oh, yeah.
This is great!" And he would crank anchors. They made
crank
That's what it was. They
yeah.
made prank phone calls.
Yeah.
He was like, "Hi,
Yeah.
can I buy a tube of toothpaste?"
Could never make
Can I
that
do
show
a couple
today.
questions, sir?
Yeah.
Do you know? And he's
Yeah,
That
it was
guy.
really funny. But anyway, that's what he used to wear one of those like helmets type things. But anyway, okay.
All right, more
I digress.
context, Eric. I mean, like, what? Tell us about this, like this robot that you saw.
So, the experience at hotels is obviously changing some in a few ways. Now when I check into a hotel, I don't have to stop at the front desk to get keys anymore. Through the Marriott Bonvoy app, when I check in, I just literally slide over that I'm here, and I get my room key to my phone. With most hotels in this region, and you can just set your phone to your door. It tells you what room number you're in. So I don't need to go by the front desk all that much anymore anyway. But when I stopped in, it was like, this is the first person you're going to interact with. Like, the front desk people were way, way off, over onto the side. So it's like they intentionally directed me to this concierge. And I had this little interaction here that I videoed after a few minutes of kind of looking it over and seeing what its purpose was from what, their write-up was on it. And I was just like, okay, well, recommend me a restaurant or whatever, harmless type thing. But then I really started thinking, like, how is this going to progress? Like, what's the progression here? All right. So started looking up this Marriott initiative about robots. And it's not just concierge robots. It's 3 other types of robots that are going to be coming integrated into the Marriott system. It's the cleaning robots. It's delivery service robots. It's front desk robots, and then concierge. So this is the start of something. And by the way, this robot's name was Tulsi. Did I tell you guys that?
Yeah, you did in the chat.
Robot's,
Yeah.
It was my name is Tulsi in Oklahoma, which I thought was kind of funny. Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah, of course. Right. And I wonder, was because you were in Tulsa, they were just trying to play on that?
I don't know. That was just the name of it, but
yeah,
it was definitely weird. So Marriott's got this initiative there, and I'm used to, I guess, kind of the service option of delivery robots. Even here at our local Mexican restaurant at Candela, like, our chips and salsa come to our table from this little robot that rolls around the restaurant, and it's playing mariachi music, and like that's where our chips and salsa tray comes from, whatever. And I actually think that cleaning, because that was one of the other robots that they're going to start incorporating, is cleaning robots. And I'm not going to argue that robotic systems cleaning hotel rooms might not be a good thing. But when I looked at this concierge, I'm like, all the people that this is going to, that this is going to eventually
The
wedge
humans,
out.
yeah, that are being replaced.
All the people I know that work in hotels, all the hotels that I travel to and am in from week to week all over the region, like I'm thinking about all these people. And so I'm like, well, how much are these things? And so I, really started looking it up and getting into the details. And these robots that Marriott is using now for concierge services, check-in, delivery, all that stuff, like their output for robots like this is only $1,000 to $2,000 a month if they lease it from the robotics company, but they can purchase it outright for $15,000 to $25,000. So think about that. Like, how much does a worker in just minimum wage with drama and call-ins because they're sick and insurance and
Yep. We saw you on your cell phone the other
unemployment
day.
insurance and all that stuff, like how much does that person cost a hotel? Why would they not go this route? And I'm not saying I'm for it, but I'm really intrigued by this whole thing because it this humanoid guest facing experience, and I'm like, well, let me dive into that a little bit more. And I'm like, what do the humanoid and guest facing robots do specific? And they're like, and so this was the description that it gave me. Human-shaped robots designed for reception, concierge, and guest engagement use facial recognition, okay, immediately like emotion detection, and language processing to interact with any and all guests. I mean, think about that for a second. So the second day, here's a funny little extra tidbit. The second day I went back down there wasn't anybody around, and I didn't video it, but I just thought, let me just have some fun with this, with Tulsi here. And I walked up to the microphone. I said, hey, Tulsi, there's roaches and rats all in my room, and I think I got bed bug bites. And Tulsi, the eyes, just like it did right there when it first interacted with me, and it kind of looked me up and down. It did that. It did that right then. It looked me up and down, and it said, sir, would you like for me to fill out a service ticket for this request? We are so sorry that this has happened. I go, no, I want you to get up, and I want you to come up there to my room, and I want to show you these roaches. So I'll see. All of a sudden he goes, oh, sir, I'm so sorry that I'm not able to, but I would like to help in some other way. We can go this way, or we can get you something figured. I can't remember exactly what it said, but he's like, I can't use my legs right now, but I can give you a hand with something else. And I go, actually, you can't give me a hand because you don't have hands. And he goes, actually, sir, I have two hands, a right and a left, with moving fingers and thumbs. And I'm just like, I can't believe I'm having this conversation with you right now. It was
that robot essentially told you that you didn't know what you were talking about.
It was wild. I mean,
well, and
hang on, before we go any further, this whole segment has been. I apologize that I didn't do this right, but we forgot. This is a segment. This is a This is an official segment that we like to call, because we've got a few more articles on robots to get to. This is an official segment that we like to call Building Skynet. Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? We've only seen this in about thousands of movies. So, Rob, you were going to make a point.
Well, I was going to make a point that, Eric talked about the cost there. So you lease it and it's $2,000 a month, or you buy it outright and it's $25,000. What's important is that he's just like, okay, well, it's $25,000, and we would normally pay a concierge twice that. I don't know. It depends on what your state is. Probably more in northern states. But here in the South, maybe twice that. What's important is you're going to pay a concierge twice that every year.
Yeah.
Versus the one-time cost of this. Exactly. Now, you're going to have routine maintenance. You're going to have some that crap out, all of that. But you would have a tremendous amount of savings as a company, and so they don't care about the human aspect of it. So it's us humans that are left to be the ones who care. And, excuse me, if I go into a fast food restaurant, which I try not to, but if I go in and they've got the kiosk and nobody at the front desk, okay, I will go and just stand at the front desk until somebody sees me, and the person will begrudgingly come over there. They don't like it. They're upset that they had to come over there and check me out. and I just say, yep, just need to place my order here. And I've even had them tell me after walking to the counter, well, there's a kiosk behind you. And I said, yeah, I struggle with those. I just really don't want to use them. Can I place my order with you? And they always say yes. But there's going to be a time where that's just not even an option at all. Mm-hmm. Have you seen new McDonald's restaurants?
No.
So they're getting rid of playgrounds.
I've seen this.
They are getting rid of a lot of the seating. Okay, they want it to be more of a dine and dash.
Yeah.
But you've already paid, right? But anyway, get in there, grab your food. There's the drink station that has these.
Why do the new McDonald's buildings look like communistic? Like slums.
Oh yeah,
they're built in these just oppressive rectangles, and they just look like something that you would see out of the Soviet Union, like a dilapidated.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Well, and here's another great point. I don't know if you were about to say this, but the real Mama Faye, no Social Security tax, no federal income tax, no Medicare tax, employer payroll tax. That's a great point that I didn't think about.
About the difference in the output costs for Tulsi versus Samantha that's standing there up at the front desk that has hopes and dreams and ambitions and what I want to do, and my dog died and now I can't show up for work and all these things. And here's another point that I thought was really interesting. I thought more about as I went along over those couple of days, like even just with my brief interaction with it around a restaurant, like it was programmed to tell me what it was programmed to say in that situation. So its first response was, well, have you tried our hotel restaurant and bar that's right here outside the lobby? Or would you like to try India Palace? It's right across for some tiki masala. Or if you're very adventurous, you can go to the Cajun restaurant right down the street. Like, how much did those restaurants pay Marriott? It's just like advertising you see in a movie when you see brand. There's a whole industry associated with brand labeling and brand placement in different aspects of Hollywood. That's what happened here. It's obvious that those restaurants, it didn't just think up like a few restaurants and select at random India Palace and whatever the name of that Cajun restaurant was that it recommended to me. Like, those places paid for that. And so, is it really a recommendation? No. It's paid advertising. Mm-hmm. So think about it from that aspect.
So you're basically buying a talking billboard.
Its point is to give me a recommendation as a concierge, but it's programmed to do it. A person that's a concierge that I've interacted with before in hotels where I'm at an unfamiliar place and I just want to have a quick get some recommendations, and I'll tip the concierge to say thank you.
Yep. Like, you're getting his honest opinion.
That's an honest opinion. That's right.
Yeah.
Tulsi didn't give me an honest opinion based on its experience.
Right.
You think that thing has sat at that restaurant and had chicken tikka masala? No.
And it never will.
It was programmed to do that.
Yeah. It'll be like Google Pay-Per. It's just like Google Pay-Per-Click, where you Google something, and what are the first 5 choices here? It's people that paid to be there.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's all about increasing the profits. I can't begrudge a business owner for wanting to increase their profits. Our argument has always got to be to resist this stuff, going to further with the flock cameras. The flock is just the heat on flock. It's every other post. So I get Lindsay Clancy and Flock. Yeah. That's every other post in my feed. Right. I don't know about you guys, and I know everybody's got different algorithms, but that's what it is. So this stuff is not going to go away. This technology monster is going to continue to grow, and if we don't push back on it, then it's going to grow. It's just going to completely grow unabated, and we're going to have no control. We're going to be trying to put the crap back into the horse, and it's just going to be far too late. Honestly, folks, it probably already is.
Yeah.
It's just us as humans, how far are we willing to let it go? Yeah. Flock cameras, we cannot say yes to acceptance on this. This right here, I will not go to this kiosk. I'm not going to do it to order my food. If we just keep saying no What are their options? Because what is that kiosk for? Going back to that example, what is it for? It's to eliminate workers.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
And I think if there was a national grocery store chain that would advertise, we are getting rid of the self-checkout, we are hiring workers, we're going to have the lanes staffed, I think that'd be a great business idea at this point because people are sick of the nonsense.
I want to add this too, completely different, but to your point, I went into a Circle K gas station not too long ago, and their self-checkouts now are not just swiping. You just take everything you have and you place it in this little box, and it scans everything from above, and everything just starts line iteming out on the deal. And there was a lady there at the gas station that worked there, and I just looked at her and I was like, "Are you okay with this stuff?" And she's like, "Actually, sir, we're not." And you know what? You know what's even worse is that the managers are now held to a standard of a percentage. So we have to direct a certain number of customers that come into our store, our convenience store, after they get gas. We have to direct a certain exact percentage or we're out of compliance. So we get in trouble if we would rather do our job and say, "Good morning, hey, I'll ring you up for your coffee and donuts or whatever." We have to guide you to the self-checkout kiosk so you can set your crap there on the little tray, and then it scans everything for you and immediately and gives you a total. Yeah. We'll get in trouble. She literally said, "I'll get in trouble if I don't direct more people to that machine versus me helping you."
Yeah, and and Foxtrot too here in our comments brought up a great point. Wait till there's a tip screen in front of these robots.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Because that's coming.
That's coming.
And there's already places that are
they
like
start
it's
tacking
putting
on
tips.
service fees.
I always ask when I'm giving a tip, I always say, "Do you get this tip?" And yes, sir, we get this tip. It's split between all of us out here, but we get this tip. And I said, okay. But there are companies, as we all know, that will keep that tip as well, or they keep a percentage of that tip. On a robot, they're keeping it all. Yeah. And why would you tip a robot, for the love of God, man?
Yeah. Well, okay, so your experience in Tulsa at the Marriott was was very timely, okay, because Reuters posted this yesterday, Eric. China can build kung fu fighting robots, but can it get them to work in a factory? All right, I want you to watch this video real quick. So they're teaching it. They're teaching it somehow to do dry cleaning, right? This is what they're trying to do. We want to eliminate jobs. Teaching it to put on a scarf. Okay, now then we go over here. So that was yesterday. Back on the 22nd, we had this story.
That does, that almost like it doesn't even look real.
Right. No, this is the point, is that this isn't AI, right? Like, look at this story from back, this is back in 2025, May of 2025. That is an AI photo of a robot. Humanoids, a $5 trillion market. The number of robots that resemble and act like humans is likely to reach 1 billion by 2050. Okay, this is the estimate. Go and look at this fighting right here. They had like a robot Olympics. Jeremy wasn't that far off. That's real. It's a spectator sport now.
Holy cow.
Look at them. That's fine motor skills right there. Yes, you could get them into a factory. There was this video game.
Wait till these things start having badges and guns.
I thought you were going to say babies. I was like, please no.
Bro.
But badges and guns. There was this video game. Do you remember it? It was a Super Nintendo video game called, it was where robots played baseball. I don't remember what it was called, but it was like, you had these robots that could do these.
Super Nintendo was for the rich kids. I
had you had this.
I graduated from regular Nintendo to Sega Genesis after a number of years.
Bless your heart.
To where the Nintendo got so bad
son.
that we had to pull out every game and go.
Oh, yeah.
and then push it in, and then
Well,
and then put
you're
the spring down.
you're also a Gen X, and I'm barely a millennial.
Yeah,
so
right.
I wish I
Here
was
we
Gen
go.
X.
Yeah, you're
I'm
so
not gonna.
Is that what I am? I'm 46. Am I Gen
You're
X?
Gen X?
We're the last year of Gen X.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you guys got leapfrogged, and
Not one of
there's
those
a millennial
stupid
vice
millennials.
president. Congratulations.
We're the last generation of lived without and lived with.
There you go.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, this what was my last point? I'm sorry.
Well, you're talking about
the
the-
baseball.
you were talking
Yeah,
about
so
the
the
baseball.
idea that these things could also potentially be more entertaining in sports going forward. You know, there's a chance. I know you say that.
Well,
but
it's the human
just-
element of it. Yeah. Although I'll tell you this, I have improved. You know, Eric and I are both huge baseball fans, and I have enjoyed the speeding up of games.
Yes,
And
Agree.
especially on television because live, I don't care how long it takes live. I'll sit there. I'm going to be drinking my beer, eating my popcorn. I enjoy the experience of a ballpark. But if it's on television, it can kind of drag, and you get four pitching changes in a row. It gets just a little crazy. Well, anyway, so they've implemented the this automatic strike zone. What's the
ABS system.
ABS? Thank you. The ABS system, and if a batter challenges it, it tells them whether basically AI. A robot essentially tells them whether it was a strike or not, right? We get to see it on the screen. I will say that I've enjoyed that anytime certainly if it goes in the Cardinals' favor, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't like it when it doesn't go in their favor. But there was a certain fun and finesse to watching a pitcher. And I know if you're not a sports fan, you're getting bored here. But I'll say like a pitcher would work the corner and he would find out that the umpire was going to let him have that pitch that was 2 inches outside, but he could go over the inside corner because of how the umpire was set up, and he was not going to get that call on the inside, right, to your normal right-hander. But anywho, so there was just this whole dance between the pitcher and the umpire. And it was a lot of fun because we would sit and just gripe at the ump
Right.
today, and you're just like, oh, whatever. Or Greg Maddux and these masters of pitching would figure out how to work it and get balls called strikes, okay?
Yeah.
And so I know that's a long explanation to say that human element has been taken out of it.
It has.
And I don't want to see that because I do like the speed of the game. It's better. We're going from a 3.5-hour game to a 2.5-hour game. It's a little bit better. But gosh, man, if we take away the human aspect, was that runner, because we were watching these runners, did that runner get a good night's sleep last night? Did their girlfriend break up with them right before the race? Like all these human things that fall into competition. I just don't see how it could ever be more entertaining to watch a bunch of robots. It'd be humorous.
Right.
Oh, that one crashed out. You'd be rooting for that. But again, and there's a lot of comments here in our stuff, but just talking about how like they're trying to erase the human side of this globe.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on now, we're going to get to this story. This was Eric Daugherty 14 minutes ago over on X. The jury is now resuming deliberations on whether to convict Lindsay Clancy in the killing of her 3 kids, the murder of her 3 kids. They deliberated for 3.5 hours yesterday. They were sent home, and so now the deliberations start again. And as we talked about at the top of the show, because this is a Massachusetts trial, people are now speculating that they think this jury is not going to convict, which brings us to our next segment for today, which we call Left Turn at Crazy.
Left turn ahead. Crazy.
Yeah, I didn't pull it, but I will, Rob. Because
No, I can just reference it.
You need to reference it or read it, actually. So here's the deal. Technofog is saying this. If Lindsay Clancy is found not guilty by reason of insanity, there is a very real chance she will be freed from a mental facility in just a few years. We've seen the same length of stays from insane moms who drowned their children and dismembered their infants. Back in 2003, a Texas woman drowned her 2 young daughters and attempted suicide by cutting her wrists and stabbing herself. She maintained she suffered from psychotic depression and that she heard voices telling her to kill the kids. The jury believed the story. She was released from a state psychiatric hospital in 2006, 3 years for killing her kids. So that's a very real possibility that may actually happen. You never know.
Yeah, I got real nervous when the whole manslaughter.
Yes, that was the
option
news.
and
Tell us what happened.
Well, so the judge is giving instructions to the jury, and as that part of that plays out, they're making clear distinctions and making sure that they know that first-degree murder, second-degree murder, and manslaughter are all on the table, and the max sentences for all three, and the differentiation, and the fact that, and most of the legal experts that were chiming in on different panels and different interviews I saw said that really confuses the whole thing, and now you've got a way of punishing somebody but not really giving them that much of a punishment for manslaughter, which it's like, to some of their points too, it's like, this isn't someone that accidentally ran over someone because they ran a red light in traffic or something like that. This is not.
Yeah.
This doesn't need to be a manslaughter case. But the fact that those instructions were given to the jury, they said it just really confuses things. And to your point a while ago about Massachusetts is a defense attorney's dream because of the way that the laws are set up and the burden that's on the prosecution in Massachusetts versus other states. To your point about if this was in Texas, I mean, she'd have probably already fried, but it's not. And so here we are. And we're even having this discussion where it's like, you know what's really crazy is that or insane is that she might just get off on this.
Yeah, so Rob was referencing the Matt Walsh tweet that, just like he always does, he really cuts to the heart of the issue, that if this really was, some sort of temporary psychosis, would she really be trying to basically get off?
Right.
To avoid the consequences. Go ahead.
Before you read this,
you should read it.
I'll say this. So Lindsay Clancy has pleaded, her specific plea is not guilty by reason of lack of criminal responsibility.
That's
which
insane.
is what they call it in the state of Massachusetts, because they're so liberal, they don't want to call someone insane. Right. So they have even churched up insanity here. And it goes to exactly what Matt Walsh is saying here. So he posted this, and I guess this was yesterday. And it's so simple, but I hadn't thought about it.
That's so good.
Right?
I'm glad you sent this.
The fact that she's even trying to evade punishment is proof enough that she wasn't insane when she committed the crime. If a loving parent woke up from a psychotic stupor and found out that they had done something like that, they'd beg the state to execute them. They wouldn't want to be found not guilty. They'd want to be punished to the fullest extent possible. They wouldn't even ask for a lawyer. I'm guilty. Either kill me or throw me in the darkest dungeon you have. That's all they'd say. And frankly, it wouldn't even get to that point because they would have had. Here it goes. Because they would have had to make sure that they committed suicide successfully when they had the chance. There's no way any good, loving parent would sit through a trial and actually offer a defense for their own actions after strangling their beautiful children to death. Granted, no loving parent would commit that crime in the first place, but I'm saying that even according to the defense's version of the case, that she was a good mother who went insane and had no control, her actions after the crime don't add up. I mean, can you say it any better than that? If she truly woke up from this and said, "Oh my God, what did I do? Oh my God," because she has said she hasn't heard the voices since. Yeah. The voices have not been heard since, right? So this is not, the voice would be telling her, right? If she was truly psychotic, right? Wouldn't the voice be saying, "You did it. You did the right thing. Don't let anybody tell you.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody tell you this. You did the right thing.
I did what I had to do."
Yes.
Is what you would say.
Correct. And so from this perspective, when you really look at it the way Matt Walsh is saying, she's trying to get off. She's trying to get off from the responsibility of murdering her own children systematically, one by one, purposefully choosing the child. This was talked about in the prosecution's closing argument. She purposefully chose the 3-year-old first. if I remember correctly, because she knew that he would be the wildest and would put up the most fight if he knew what was going on. And forgive me if it was the first one or the middle child, but suffice it to say that the prosecution said that, and Lindsay Clancy had told the psychiatrist this, which is why she drew that connection together. She chose him first because he would put up the most fight, and she might have struggled with the others more had he sort of alerted his siblings. Okay, how is that a person who is just irrationally having this psychotic break and whatever? When you look at all of the stuff and say, she sent her husband away, she timed how long it would take, and they would say, well, she's a nurse. Why would a nurse have to Google search where the carotid artery is? I'm not going to say anything disrespectful to nurses, but I have met a lot of nurses, okay? And they're nurses that are very specific, and just like a doctor, do not ask a cardiologist about a skin rash that you're having.
That's correct.
It's a very specialized thing. And sometimes nurses are the exact same way. They're very specialized. And if they're not working in an emergency room, if they're not working with direct patient care, I mean, again, I have no idea what she did when she was working. But it's not something that I'm going to sit here and question just because she was a nurse, why she would have to know where the carotid artery is. And I'm sure as hell not going to use that as evidence against her husband when nothing points to him.
And just for a point of clarity, because we had talked about this several times last week, Eric, and we went over the cocktail of antipsychotic drugs that she was on.
She was a labor and delivery nurse, by the way.
Okay.
To your point, which was correct.
Which is correct.
You don't ask a pediatrician about an adult's bowel movements and have them try to analyze that any more than you would try to talk to a cancer doctor about, the specifics of managing my diabetes.
Yeah.
I just want to throw this out there because we have been, parroting this idea that she was, and I'm perfectly fine holding these doctors accountable if what has been reported is accurate, but Allie Beth Stuckey is now saying that she's wrong about Lindsay Clancy. She was never diagnosed with postpartum depression or psychosis. She was not on 13 medications at once. Now, I think we even reported there was a cocktail of like 30. She says she was not hearing voices. She was not abandoned by her family. So I'm throwing it out there that there are some now saying that she actually wasn't on all of those medications at once.
Yeah, and that's the point of why the number had gotten to 30 is because she had that many active prescriptions going.
I got you.
Not that they were all different from each other, because I had counted about like 13 different ones in 5 different classes of depression-related and mental health-related medications, but that she was stockpiling them. She was getting them from different sources and keeping a lot of different ones because she was on multiple different drugs in the same class. It'd be like you don't take Zoloft and Prozac at the same time and do it in the same way because that's the same. They're both SSRIs.
Yeah.
So, it's her medication cocktail was as confusing as it was just completely wrong.
All right, did you guys get to see the defense attorney and the closing arguments?
Yeah, I mean, I saw that. Yes, I did.
All right, let's listen to this. Is just a 15-second clip. Listen to this.
This young lady did nothing wrong in her life. She was a nurse, a daughter, a wife, and a darn good mother.
A darn good mother. You guys ever seen the movie The Devil's Advocate with Al Pacino, where they basically, attorneys are the perfect.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
The perfect vessel to potentially, institute a satanic takeover of the planet.
Oh my God!
You got a Pacino interpretation or
vanity? Vanity. Definitely,
he's up there right now.
Definitely my favorite sin. Kevin, it's so basic. Self-love. The all-natural opiate.
He's laughing at us.
Yeah. You do get that vibe. All jokes aside, I haven't heard the 911 call, but I know there are reporters in the courtroom that have. Here is Stephen Ertelt giving us the transcript of the 911 call, and it is absolutely... every parent's worst nightmare. When you hear him say, put the pressure on the cut, and then he finds out, he's trying to, tend to his wife, and then he says, oh no, what's he screaming about, quote, oh my God, what's going on? There's a part where, hang on, she killed the kids. Hang on, where is this part? I'm missing it. She killed the kids right there. She killed the kids, Dawson, my buddy. Like this is him. There is a call of him discovering what she had done. The idea that she is a good mother, that this defense attorney would say she was a darn good mother, is just what have we come to? Who? I mean, I know you got to do a defense.
Yeah,
I get it, but my goodness,
two things that are extremely important to note about this. The crazy ass leftist liberal women who are defending her, one of their arguments is that they are saying Patrick was calm when he called 911. Okay. You see the all caps transcripts, all of this stuff right here. Here's the second thing to say. So those liberal lunatics believe that he was calm. They played the audio of the 911 call in court, and the reporters reporting on it after, they were not allowed to record with their phones. They weren't allowed to do all that stuff. The reporters came out and said that it was so gut-wrenchingly emotional that the judge has sequestered it, essentially, and not allowed it to be played outside of the courtroom in any standpoint. Now, of course, after the verdict comes out, I'm sure that there's going to be, FOIA requests that'll go through, and that audio will be released, and it'll come out there. But the judge in the case thought it was so bad and could potentially be so prejudicial. It would work against Lindsay Clancy so much that no one would be in her corner. But yet these liberal lunatic women think it's not only that it's not that it's exactly the opposite, that he was calm. And that my little buddy, can you imagine? Like, makes me sick to my stomach.
Here's Viva Frey, Viva Fry.
She was a rock star. And I'll tell you, this I almost said a word, this judge cut her off twice in a closing argument and said, we're not focusing on that, move on. Didn't say a word during the defense attorney.
Viva Fry says, listening to the closing arguments, I make this prediction without approval. I don't think Lindsay Clancy is getting convicted. Prosecution closing arguments are not great.
He's wrong.
All right, well, let's listen.
Well, I mean, he may have clipped something up here.
You know from all of the evidence that you have, putting aside the experts, but all the evidence you have in terms of crime scene photos and videos and the
interesting time to put in a lozenge.
Witness testimony and all the medical records, you know how she killed them, where she killed them, what time she killed them, and the order that she killed them in. Even without what she told the doctors about the order, that's something you can infer from the evidence. Because you know, in order to bring the kids to the basement and strangle each one of them, and then come upstairs and get a knife and have a phone call, and then go upstairs to the second floor and either take handfuls or pills or crush them, however she did it, take the pills, and then cut herself. And it's not just 3 cuts, it's the hesitation marks, and then the cuts themselves. And then you know she bled in a couple spots for a little while, because you heard from Sherry Crook how the pooling in front of the mirror is someone, basically the blood dropping down, and someone there for a period of time. And then over closer to the window, the same thing. So she's bleeding in front of the mirror for a period of time, over by the window for a period of time, and then she goes out of the window. And whether she dove out or climbed out and slid down, whatever you think that evidence shows from the shingles and everything you've seen, whatever happened, she goes out of the window and she's on the ground. And by the time Patrick gets there, she's no longer bleeding. So for all of that to happen, in that short amount of time while Patrick's gone, she had to have started killing the kids immediately after he left. Now, defense wants you to believe that it was after the phone call, that after the phone call she heard the voice and killed the children. But there's a few things about that don't make sense. First is what she told Dr. Satoff. that when she gets the call, she's at the fridge getting chicken nuggets out of the fridge to make dinner. You heard from Patrick. When he's leaving, Dawson is sitting on the couch eating chicken nuggets and green beans out of a bowl. There's the crime scene photo of 2 bowls on the couch. Yes, the pink one seems to have some vegetables in it, but there's the blue one there as well. And Patrick saw Dawson eating the chicken nuggets and green beans. So why would the defendant make that up? Why would she say she's doing that during the phone call? Because if she's already killed the kids because of a voice and being compelled and it being against her will and she's like a puppet, then she can't get a call and miss it and then call the person back and have a conversation and then hang up. A puppet can't do those things. Those are decisions and choices and actions that she's controlling. So she has to explain away the phone call because her behavior and her ability to have the phone call don't make sense
That's
if
good.
she's being compelled by her voice.
Yeah.
That's actually
And I'll tell you
really a good point.
I'll tell you this, and this is not, he got this clip of her. There is one where she walks through in just horrible detail. I think it was the clip that I sent you guys. It was a little bit longer video, and she just walks through the horrible, the order of the crime, and she was very descriptive in exactly how she did it, and you think, okay, for that time for that timeline to work, exactly what that prosecutor just said, she had to have killed the kids, then had a conversation with her husband because he was calling and saying, hey, they don't have this, can I get the generic, right? I mean, guys, we're not the sharpest knives in the drawer sometimes. I mean, so I've called my wife with stupid questions, man. Mm-hmm. And so that was very, very believable to me. And so she missed the call. She calls him back. He stated that no, she didn't sound, there wasn't anything there, right? She just did. Because otherwise, what would he would have done? Lindsay, what did you do? Right? He would have been screeching home. He would have been calling the police on his way. Like, I just talked to my wife. She sounded off, man. Something's wrong. Please go over there and check on my kids. She's got mental illness. I don't know what's going on. Like, he got nothing of that, of this phone call. And then you find out based off of the time frames, she had already killed her kids. And she was about to kill herself. And she knew the jig was up. I wonder too if the killing of herself was always a plan. Okay? Why? Because why would she have to go get the knife after? If she knew what she was going to kill these kids with in the basement and chose 3 different exercise bands based off of the size of the exercise band and the size of the child, why did she have to go get a knife? Seems like she would have had things very, very much prepared. Okay. However, you could say, oh, well, that's because she was in this daze and she was, being psychotic and stuff. But I'm now questioning whether she was going to kill herself. And then she took this call from her husband and she's like, okay, well, he's on his way home, And maybe I'm totally wrong on that. We'll never know. We'll never truly know.
We will never truly know. But the biggest question is she did this. She's admitted to doing it, and we live in a society now. And again, we can just write it off as Massachusetts, but man, the United States of America. How united are we? Where we're going to have such a disparity, as you guys have brought up several times. If this were in Texas or if this were in Arkansas, this would not be. But we are so we are willing to make excuses. For basically like the one blasphemy law in the country today. You can't tell women no, and you can't hold them accountable. Apparently, we'll see what the verdict is. But the crazies on the left coming out and supporting her, and and the whole true crime aspect of all of this, versus what we talked about a couple days ago, Susan Smith. Mm-hmm. When everybody, the women back in the day when Susan Smith killed her kids. Everybody was like, the women especially were more vocal than the men. The women were like, you are a baby murderer, you're a terrible mom. Yeah. And now,
Absolutely.
So, I mean, we're such a fractured country. We have totally different standards. It's like, I don't even know. I mean, how can you even call us united when we have this kind of disparity between the blue states and the Christian red states?
There's this dumbass post being posted. Even some of my friends are posting it. And I'm sure you guys have seen it. It's going around a lot on Facebook. I haven't seen it as much on X. But it's talking about all of the male murderers that have been, right? That Chris guy that we talked about, or whatever his name was, that just killed his kids. Watts, thank you. And then they brought up Chris Benoit, who was a professional wrestler, had head trauma, just severe concussions and all of that stuff, and killed his whole family and killed himself. He snapped. And they said, well, you didn't villainize him. I was like, the hell we didn't. What do you think? You think we defend guys that snap and just lose it? If you see a guy that snaps, like video on you see it a lot on X. If you see a video of a guy that snaps and just wails a woman, like she wasn't trying to fight him, nothing like that, but he gets mad and he just starts wailing a woman, there might be one or two dudes in there be like, well, I want to know what happened before. I want to know what she did leading up to this. But 99.9% of people are saying, "Oh my, that guy he needs a gun to the head."
Most of the time when that happens, men get up and take care of business.
Well, we have the exact opposite reaction,
Right.
Because we're protectors. We're the protectors, right? And so for these crazy liberal women to bring up these male murderers and say that we defended them, and I'm like, just show me the post. Yeah. Show me the comments where we defended the people that did something like Lindsay Clancy's done, and you are now defending her for it. You are all about deflect. What about you? What about you? What about you? They do the same crap with Trump. What about? It's a way of deflecting any sort of responsibility that they have. There are tons of women posting right now that they empathize with Lindsay Clancy, that they feel what she's feeling. And I'm like, somebody go get that woman's kids. Somebody call DHS. There are dudes calling off weddings. There are dudes ending relationships. There are dudes going and taking these videos to the judge to try to help win custody. I fear for my children's lives. Look what my wife said, or my ex-wife just said. They've lost their damn minds. People have lost their minds supporting this woman. And if she walks free, the groundswell of crazy is just going to be exploding all over. When you affirm the crazy, it grows. Yeah. We see it with transgenderism. When you affirm this crazy, it's going to grow like a monster. We cannot go down this road as a society, as a Christian nation, as a human being. You don't have to tell someone that murder is wrong. You don't ever have to tell someone, no matter where you are. Although, if you're the UK, you have to tell these Somalian immigrants that rape is wrong. That's how far we've fallen from sanity and normalcy. We cannot let this grow.
I don't know what the makeup of the jury is, but I see this one post saying that it's a 9-3 jury, 9 women, 3 men.
Yeah, when it was 18, I think it was 12-6. I think that's what I heard, and then they cut it down to 12, and now they're at 9-3.
9-3.
You just
listen. Which makes sense why they would do that.
I'm just praying for those 3 men.
Get more women on that.
Yeah.
On that
Let's
jury.
pray. Let's pray for. Listen, folks. Let's pray for those 3 men.
We'll pray for the women to do the right thing.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
But if that thing is going to go to a not guilty, let's pray that those 3 men are obstructionists and at least get a hung jury. And then hopefully the state will go after her again, and then, or hopefully it's these women that are like, y'all are nuts, man. I would never kill my kids.
Yeah.
I was a little depressed after. I had postpartum depression. It was tough. But I'd never once thought I'm gonna push my kid's head underwater here and try to drown him.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man.
The baby blues is nothing new. That's one of the things here about this is that to turn this from the baby blues, in which a lot of women do go through, but to then equate or conflate that with a psychotic episode that pushes you toward doing something completely crazy and insane and murdering, those are very, very different things that women manage very, very differently. And my heart goes out to all ladies that have had the baby blues afterwards, and it's a tough time for them because they want to be happy about this amazingly great event that's just gone on in their lives. And I've watched friends, very close friends, go through it. My wife didn't go through it, but I've watched close friends go through it, and they just want to detach and be uninvolved. They're not happy. They feel bad about it, and they don't like it. The good ones get through it, and they know that something's wrong. But this thing, what this went to, is evil.
Yeah.
It's
100%.
very, very different. So all these ladies that are chiming in on social media to support her and say, I had the baby blues before and it was terrible. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you probably did. And our heart goes out to you for not being able to enjoy your immediate postpartum experience like the majority of women do. But you can't sit here and conflate that murder is somehow okay because you've been through the fire with her. Come on.
Yeah.
It's not objective. That should not be allowed.
Oh, man.
All right, Rob, I know you got to go. We got to wrap up hour number 1 and get into hour 2, but
yeah,
buddy, I hope you have a great weekend.
You all as well. Enjoyed the conversations. I will be back on Monday.
Sounds good. We got Eric Haynes holding the fort down with us for the rest of the show. We're going to take a quick break, reset here, and then we're going to get to a special guest. Don't go anywhere. This is the Paul Harrell Program. Back in just a moment.
For centuries, light has been used to heal. Awaken the body with Red 5.
My name is John, and this is my beautiful wife, Lori, and this is our Star Wars Ewok. His name is Scout, and we have Scout for about 11 years now, and we started noticing about 3 years ago he started slowing down. He was unable to jump on the bed. He was kind of a little bit grumpier, and when my daughters, Macy and Mariah, would take him on walks, he would walk for about 30 yards, and then he'd lay down, and they'd carry him the rest of the way. So I heard about Pet Club 24/7 and about the products from a gentleman that I really trust and share a friendship with. And he mentioned to me that they have products that are going to help him with his arthritis, help him build his immune system. And I said, okay, no problem. Let's try them out. And I kid you guys not, within about 2 to 3 days, we started noticing a little difference. And then we took Scout on a walk probably about a week after we started using the products, the Mush Puppies, and he would walk the entire way. He would walk at least a mile, and it's just been completely amazing. He's a new dog. He's 11 years old, which is around 80 years in dog years, and he's just happy. He's more energetic. He's not the grumpy old man he used to be, and we're just so thankful. And it was perfect timing because we lost our boxer Yankee about a year and a half ago, and it was really hard on us. So I'm so thankful for Pet Club 24/7 for the products that they offer. Imagine if you could have your best friend around one more day or one more week or even one more year. I'm so blessed and thankful that we were able to find this company and find these products for Scout. So thank you guys. Give it a shot. We appreciate you. God bless everyone.
MyPillow's second annual mega sale is finally here. Get our patented premium MyPillows that adjust to your exact individual needs to give you the best sleep of your life.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
Now for the lowest price ever. Kings, $19.98. Queens, only $18.98. And Giza Dream bed sheets, the best sheets in history, for as low as $29.98. Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets, towels that actually dry you. What a concept. Now only $39.98. And our made in the USA mattresses and mattress toppers as low as $99.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. But that's not all. Order right now and we'll ship your order absolutely free.
Why is Red Vibe different? What sets it apart? What sets us apart from the standard red light panels? This is a medical grade device, and what that means is the red light bulbs and the near infrared bulbs have very specific wavelengths. If you think about the wavelength as the medicine, the 635, the 670, the 810, the 850, those were specifically chosen because those are the most powerful effectors of the cells. So those specific wavelengths, when they get into our body, when they affect our tissue, they spike energy production, they help with nerve pain control, they increase stem cell counts. There's very specific mechanisms that those specific wavelengths work at, and that's the medicine. So if you think of, say, medicine as an Advil or a specific steroid or a blood pressure medication, the wavelength is the medication. The other part of that, whenever you take a medication, is dose. Right? So you have the medication. So if you take 1 milligram of Advil, and the average dose of an Advil is 200 milligrams to 800 milligrams, it's not going to work. That doesn't mean the medicine's bad. It just means you didn't take enough. Right? And so even if you have the right wavelengths, first you have to have the right medicine, and then you have to have the right dose. And to have the right dose, you have, in light therapy, you have to have enough energy. So you have to have a powerful bulb. The LED bulbs, or light emitting diodes, have a specific wavelength, and that wavelength is the medicine. And the wavelengths that have been studied and published on that are the most powerful in affecting healing and the changes that we want to see with our bodies and our health are the 635 wavelength, the 670, 810 nanometer wavelength, and 850 nanometer wavelength. Those are all going to affect the mitochondria, the cytochrome C oxidase, and affect those powerful long-term changes and affect that downstream pathways. And that's what you get with Red Vibe devices. The highest efficacy, the best wavelengths, concentrated to help your health.
The Paul Harrell Program.
All right, folks, welcome back to the show. Thanks so much for being with us. We cannot do the show without you watching every single day here on Live from America, as well as the Paul Harrell Program YouTube. Wherever you're watching the show, we want you to like, share, subscribe, do all the things. If you're watching on X, retweet, share, just do it. We really appreciate it. We depend on you guys to grow the show, grow the message, and everything under the sun. Eric, had a great first hour with you, my friend. I know we're going to get to some other great topics here in a minute. We got a great rest of the show for you. So
fantastic conversations.
Yeah, man. Thanks for sticking around. Really do. I want to remind everybody out there that the Paul Harrell Program is powered by the Healing Veterans Project. We want you to go to the Healing Veterans, healingveteransproject.us, scan the QR code if you want to make a donation. If you want to set it up for a one-time, a monthly, annually, quarterly, whatever you want to do, we'd really appreciate it. Just scan that QR code, and you can help us get red light therapy to our veterans. We have a list of veterans that need this therapy. It's been prescribed by a doctor. You hear me say this all the time, but the VA won't cover it. The VA will give you pills, and the VA does some good things. We're not going to say they don't do good things, but they'll tend to give, the opioids, the Vicodin, but they're not going to give this red light therapy that's been recommended by the doctor, and that's where Healing Veterans Project comes in. And so the Paul Harrell Program, we are happy to power with this great organization. Scan those QR codes, folks, and you can donate appropriately. And so that brings me to our next segment. As a matter of fact, I can announce today that the Healing Veterans Project, we've successfully been able to give our first veteran a red light panel, and he is a Purple Heart recipient. He was wounded in Vietnam. He's also been awarded the Bronze Star for heroism. Actually, I've got the document. I've seen the document. Back on February 26th, 1970, got the Bronze Star. I'm talking about a man by the name of Joe Wachikowski, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I'm not going to make any promises. But we've got Joe with us. Joe, how you doing? Welcome to the Paul Harrell Program.
Hi, Paul. Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, who do we have sitting next to you? Is that Michelle?
Yes, it is.
All right, Michelle. It's nice to meet you. I know we spoke on the phone yesterday, but I wanted to start by first off just highlighting your story, okay? Because this is a story where I know Matt Troy, the founder of Healing Veterans Project, has been working with you, has been hearing about all of these struggles trying to get the VA to pay for this red light panel, and they never got around to it. Can you give us your story, please?
Can you help me with this?
Sure. It's intense for Joe. He doesn't always seem to think he deserves the good things that are out there for him. So back in 2025, Joe went to a doctor and for TMJ, and she noticed his wrist has a brace on, a support brace. And she said, "Oh, what's going on there?" And degenerative joint arthritis is what that is. And so she had mentioned that Red Vive has this red light therapy, and she thought it could help both of them. So we immediately got in touch with Matt. He went through his channels and contacted the VA. We went through our channels, the appointments, the messages, the documentation, the multiple visits, about an hour away for us to drive. And we just got nowhere after about a year. And Matt said, "Enough. Let's get a foundation. Let's get an organization that can help get this to you and help get you on a healing journey instead of medications." Joe doesn't like to take medications really. And so we've been loving it. Our machine's actually sitting right over here next to Joe. We use it out here.
I can see that. I can see the machine right there. It's I use obviously you're using a machine from Red Vive. Obviously
Yes.
we're just playing those commercials, and I have one of those. I know it's a medical grade device, and I know it works. Matter of fact, my mom is now thinking of no longer having surgery after she was about to have a very serious back surgery. She was on a waiting list to have the surgery, and in the meantime, we put her in front of the red light panel, and now she's walking, and it's night and day compared to the way she was. So the technology works. Joe, can you tell us how is the red light machine doing for you right now? How are things? Are you better? Are you less inflammation, less pain?
Yeah, it's been great. I've used it this morning and last night. It's been so good for so many things too, because I use it on my TMJ and my jaw and my wrist, my knees, which have been a real problem, but most importantly, my back. And I religiously now use it morning and evening, and it's been so much better. Just getting around, just doing things, just being comfortable. It's been a real plus.
His back is where he took the grenade in Vietnam. So he actually was considering surgery at one point as well.
Wow. So yeah, let's talk about that, because I mentioned you're a decorated veteran, you're a wounded veteran, Bronze Star, Purple Heart. First of all, thank you for your service.
Yes,
but a grenade, affecting the back. So you've had a long. I'd like to talk about the VA, because I'm sure the VA has been giving you treatment, or what they consider treatment, right? They're willing to give you the pills, but they were not willing to pay for this. That's where Healing Veterans Project comes in. But I mean, if it's not too emotional for you, and I totally respect it if you've got boundaries. Boundaries are good, but can you walk us through your service? Can you walk us through how you got from Vietnam to where you are right now?
When I came home, I went to work in my dad's machine shop, and I liked it. I did it before I went in the service, and I was running a machine one day and just thinking to myself, wow, I'm going from being in charge of 40 people's lives to making steel chips on a lathe or a milling machine or something. And it just, I felt like something was missing. And we also did machine rebuilding, repair, and went to a skill center when it was first started. when all the machinery was brought in, our company did the setup and leveling and got the shop ready. And I looked around and said, I could do this. So I spent the next 30 years teaching not only at the Skill Center, but at the local college and the local community college and night school and apprenticeship programs. And it was a great career for me.
You knew you needed more.
I knew I needed
than just machines.
More up here, and that career has given me a great deal of satisfaction, and also it's not as physical as actually working in a shop and on machinery and stuff.
Wow. Well, we thank you for your service, and again, I just wanted to highlight you being the first vet that has been able to get relief and get one of these panels, and just to encourage everybody out there listening, we need your help. We need more donations. We need businesses to partner with us if we're going to continue to get this. Like you said, your TMJ, your knees are feeling better. You're back. That's the big one. Thank you, Eric, for that. And by the way, Eric, if you've got any questions, you feel free to.
I just want to say God bless you and your family, sir. Thank you so much for your service, and you're a hero.
Amen. Absolutely. You are a hero. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure people are aware that this is what we're trying to do. And can you comment real quick, just briefly, about why you think the VA, after trying to work with them for so long, why they wouldn't get you this panel?
Well, I think they realize the widespread need for so many veterans who could use something like that. That I think it'd be really hard for them to financially even do it. And I think that there would be a tremendous amount of paperwork and things I don't know anything about involved. We've actually started. We presented it to. I'm a member of the American Legion and the VFW, and I brought it up at our American Legion because they're incredibly active here in it's Post 554 in Morley, Michigan.
We want to help other veterans get this, and if veterans can help veterans, I know that Matt is very supportive of that. I know that that's one of his goals.
Nobody helps veterans more than veterans, and the VFW and the Legion being nonprofits, if they do happen to have extra money, they put it into things like locally, like Little League, and we also sponsor a football team. We help some of the disabled veterans with things like replacing a roof if they're financially in need. So we'd like to see Legions, VFWs, AMVETs nationwide do some donation for
the healing,
getting something this for to the Healing Veterans Project.
It's just crazy that it's so simple, I mean, the technology is there, photobiomodulation. It's scientific. It works. You now know it works. I know it works. A lot of other people know it works, and yet we're not going to help out we're not going to help out our veterans, which are. If you're not going to help out veterans, who are you going to help? And so that's what's so frustrating about it. But that's why we have the answer. We have the solution. As long as we have the support, we have the answer, and we can we've got veterans on a waiting list right now, quantifiable. We can help them. We just got to get the money. We just got to get the panels to them. I'm going to give you guys the last word. I really appreciate you sharing your story. I understand this stuff is emotional. I did not serve in the military. Didn't have the courage for it. But thank you for your courage, and thank you for your perseverance. After getting back, dealing with the pain for all these years, now getting relief, we're thankful for that. But just a general thank you so much for being the hero that you are. And I want to give you guys the last word, you and Michelle.
Thank you so much. it's difficult for me to even talk about this, and I apologize for that. But fortunately, I have a wonderful wife who has been my voice and my help.
Like to talk.
Don't ever apologize, sir. I'll tell you that right now. We live in a Marvel Comics age of heroes, and not all heroes wear capes. And you're a true American hero, sir, and we really, really appreciate you coming on today. Thank you so much for your service, and God bless you and your lovely wife there with you.
Thank you. We want to thank Matt Troy with Red Vive in starting this Healing Veterans Project and allowing us the blessing to receive this. And we are going to be a mouthpiece for this program, for this device, for other veterans to get healing. We are very blessed. I'm very thankful.
Amazing.
All right. I love it. We go forth.
Love it.
We're going to conquer. We're going to help people. And it's fantastic. God bless you guys. I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Michelle. And would love to have you guys on again soon to talk more about this. We really do appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
All righty.
Thank you, Matt, too.
Yes, sir. God bless you guys. Folks, that's what it's all about right there. That's what it's all about.
Dude.
Veterans helping veterans, and that's the vision here. But again, scan the QR code right there on your screen, healingveteransproject.us, and it's awesome. I'm just stoked. I did talking with Joe yesterday about the relief that he's getting. Talking with Matt, you see the panel right there, and that's what we're trying to do. I wanted to give you guys, the audience, like a firsthand. You hear me talking about what we're trying to do. I've been talking about Healing Veterans Project now for the last 4 or 5 weeks. Now we get to see one of the results. So powerful stuff here. Really, really excited to see what happens moving forward. So we got about, let's see, it's 17 minutes past the hour. We were with you for the through the rest of this hour, where we're going to hand it off to Jeremy Harrell, live from America here in just a little bit. It's going to fly by. We're going to give you an update. So we started the week on the rancher situation. Remember the Where's the Beef?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Where's the beef? I couldn't resist the old Wendy's commercial. I knew you would appreciate that.
Yeah.
So President Trump this morning is actually, because there was heat, right? You had farmers and ranchers, you had big cattle associations. They were not a fan of this announcement about, hey, we're going to bring this meat in. There's a lot of doubts. Okay, there's a lot of doubts about it. And of course, we talked about the monopolies and the packer plants and that sort of thing. The four big packers. That's kind of where this problem originated. But we have here the Truth Social post from earlier this morning. Right here, ranchers and farmers. President Trump says, ranchers and farmers have always been a number one priority for me. They work very hard, are smart, efficient, and immaculately clean. But for years, I have heard that they have had a tremendous problem with the big processors, who many say are nasty, a nasty monopoly. Many say. So we were talking about this on Monday. There are essentially 4 of them, and a very non-competitive number, and they make life miserable for our wonderful farmers and ranchers, and I can't let that happen, can I? So, in order to break this powerful monopoly, with much of its ownership based outside of the U.S., I'll just add, the whole Packer thing just reeks of organized crime. And because a lot of the ownership is foreign as well, the opportunity for corruption is just immense. He says, so in order to break this powerful monopoly, with much of its ownership based outside the U.S., I am authorizing legal documents to be drawn in order to allow farmers and ranchers to be given the right to process their own food. This should move quickly. Thank you for your attention in this matter. So we'll see how quickly that does move, but that is President Trump hearing the concerns of what happened a week ago today. He announced a week ago today.
This is classic Trump. About
the beef situation, trying to get lower prices at the grocery stores. But over the weekend, that flurry, that just a lot of momentum of being critical of that decision because of what they said it was going to do to local farmers here, and now President Trump is saying, hey, we're going to try to break up the monopoly.
Absolutely. Yeah. He listens. I mean, this is classic Trump. You're not used to this from politicians in decade, maybe ever. I mean, you're just not used to this kind of feedback and pivot to, hey, we thought about this. We're going to pivot. And we're going to do it a little bit differently. We're still going to do. we hear you. We appreciate you. We're going to make these decisions to hopefully address exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You just don't get that from any politicians ever, really.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're local folks, maybe. But when have you ever seen a president communicate like this?
I also add this. This is an example of why, when the president does something that you don't like, it's okay to say, "Hey, man, I don't like this."
Yeah.
Because you get a response. In this case, you got a response addressing it, at least addressing your concerns. You hope it actually moves quickly and they can get through the red tape to actually try to do this. Obviously, the meat packers are not going to be for this. They're going to fight this every chance that you get. But it is an example of saying, hey, I mean, the Republican Party is a coalition party. It's the only party where you actually have different factions that will argue against each other. But when push comes to shove, it's like, yeah, but we're not voting for the left-wing crazies, right?
Right.
So this is an example of one of those times where you just say, hey, yeah, I mean, we don't want to make great the enemy of good, but at the same time, hey, man, let's think about these monopolies. And, yeah, we want to get lower grocery prices. Everybody wants lower meat prices. Everybody wants that. But what about the bigger problem here? Not the more immediate, but the bigger problem, which is the meatpacking monopoly. So pretty good stuff. That's a decent announcement. That you compare that with all of the H-1B news that we've had, and pausing visas and that sort of thing over the week. It certainly has been some positive news that I think is desperately needed for the midterms. Now we're going to move on to our newest news segment. Well, actually, no, it's our second to newest news segment. We debuted it yesterday, and Eric, you missed it because I know you were traveling back home. But I think you're going to like this this time. We're going to continue our topic about what is going on with Callaway Golf and this YouTube brand Good, and the groveling that's taking place, and that's why we call this next segment Grovel Games. Yeah, so 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 there. Grovel Games, here we go. Interestingly enough, the CEO of Good. So yesterday after we get off the show, a few things happened. Callaway issued another statement saying that they are separating from Good. They're going to end their partnership. The PGA came out and said, we are separating from Good, and they've decided to take a step back, and they're not going to sponsor our event coming up in Dallas. They were going to sponsor a big golf tournament down there. So Good is in a lot of trouble, and this is ridiculous. All over this, this spoof ad, that we admitted yesterday on the show wasn't a great ad, but because they pushed a girl down, everybody went crazy and talked about how Good is for domestic violence, and so now they're having to give all this money to, Callaway's pledging to give millions of dollars to fight domestic abuse, all for this right here. Which this girl is an actress. She wasn't actually hurt, guys. Newsflash, she wasn't actually hurt, and it's not 2015. Trump was reelected in 2024. We don't have to do this anymore. This is cancel culture it's being resurrected, and it's absolutely insane. But back to this, the CEO of Good, Matt Kendrick, seems to be indicating that he thinks this whole thing was planned in some way to try to freeze out Good, to try to end their influence on golf. Flushing it over on X says, Good CEO Matt Kendrick says Callaway Golf asked them to make the advertisement, approved it, and is now trying to cover it up by giving millions of dollars away. He also posted on X that he's not opposed to suing Callaway and said, I agree to a post suggesting Callaway set up Good. Here we have a few tweets here. Country Club Populist. Good should sue Callaway for every single penny they're owed plus damages. Callaway approved the ad before it ran. They're the ones to blame. Good did nothing wrong. Matt Kendrick, CEO of Good, says not opposed to that. I think Callaway set these Good guys up. Matt Kendrick says, I agree that this was some sort of setup. And I had heard a whisper that this all seemed so contrived. You know how contrived it was? There are now people out there that are now saying, look, that this was not about the ad. This was about we don't like Good and we want to get rid of them, and we're going to try to find a reason.
So they sabotaged them?
That is now what some people are thinking. That there is a lot. This is a lot more complicated, a lot more gray than just the ad cancel
High drama
culture.
in the golf world.
That there was something else going on behind the scenes where there was a plot to try to Johnny sweep the legs. Good. I always love to use that as a verb.
I love that.
I've been using it for years, by the way. To Johnny sweep the leg.
Do you have a problem with that?
Sweep the leg, Johnny.
Put it in the body bag. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was too good. You're too good at that. You're too good at that. I've always used that. I've been using that for years back when I was on radio. I used it all the time. Johnny sweep the legs. Johnny sweep the legs. Johnny sweep the legs. Because it's just a cheap shot, you know. You gotta throw the
body bag.
Don't do the laugh. Don't do the laugh.
So good.
We're gonna get to Texas Roadhouse in a minute, but here's a few. It's part of Grovel Games. Here's a few comments here. Good is taking more heat for fake pushing a girl than the people who went to Epstein Island.
Oh my. Good grief.
That's pretty funny. That's good. That is good. Then we have Good is stepping away from its sponsorship for the November PGA Tour. I just told you about this. Listen to this groveling statement by the PGA. The PGA Tour has been informed of Good Golf's decision to step away, whatever, they were told to step away. As a sponsor of the Austin, Texas event this fall, we agree with their decision to use this time to focus on their organization and the work ahead. The PGA Tour believes in golf's ability to bring people together and create a welcoming environment for all. The tournament will continue as scheduled from November 15th, blah, 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 blah. All of this over people who would never... This is why I think there's some validity to the fact that this was some sort of conspiracy. Not the reason is because Callaway's apologizing to people that don't play golf, likely never will, and weren't buying Callaway products to begin with. Do you think there are women on the PGA Tour or your country club women that like to go play golf or whatever? Do you think they saw that ad and were like, they believe in violence is good against women? No, it was just a bad ad based on a horror movie that I have never even seen. And yeah, it wasn't well done, but it's like, this girl was an actress. She willingly participated in it. She didn't really get hurt, guys. Like,
Callaway's most popular driver of all time was called the Big Bertha. That was the name of the driver. It's on the. It's. I've hit Big Berthas before.
Yeah, I have too.
Can you imagine now all the women's groups? No more Big Berthas for us.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
We're throwing away our Big Berthas.
Start calling it the double axe handle. You back in the day, I don't know who it was. I definitely got uncles and grandpas that would be like, well, her backside's about 2 axe handles wide.
My Big Bertha's in the trash can now.
Next up, we have another one from Viva Fry. I wish I was still into golf so I could actively decide to never buy Callaway golf again. Pathetic. Callaway deserves the Bud Light backlash.
Ooh.
And so we covered their statement. No, this is a new statement. We didn't cover this one yesterday, where they say, quote, Callahan has ended its relationship with Good effective immediately. Yeah. In this instance,
signed Dylan Mulvaney.
Yeah. Yes. Signed Dylan Mulvaney. That's right. That's right. They need to go ahead and get a trans woman to rep their drivers now.
Then have to get Shane Gillis to rescue them from the pit of despair that they're in as a brand.
Paige and Shane Gillis. Hey, did you see?
Shane, can you please arrive on altitude?
We got a lot of money we want to give you. We need to make Callaway golf. Did you see he was at a sporting event? I don't know, some sporting event, and the camera got him, and he was drinking a Dos Equis. He had a Dos Equis in his cup holder, and immediately, it was 5 seconds of him just talking with somebody, and immediately somebody's handing him a Bud Light because they're like, "Oh, you're on camera," and they hand him a Bud Light. He's like, "I don't know what to do with this," and then he realizes what's going on. He's like, "Oh yeah, right. I got a Dos Equis there. I'm on camera. Got to have that Bud Light with me." But then, of course, we go to Shooter McGavin. Shooter McGavin says, I remember when Happy Gilmore assaulted multiple people on tour and got hired as a spokesperson for a company. My, how times have changed. In response to Callaway ending its relationship with Good effective immediately. Yeah, I remember it.
Let's all go back to Happy Gilmore Part 1.
Cold cut combo.
Yeah.
Subway. He even punched out Bob Barker.
That was pre-Jared.
Yeah.
Subway days. And, man, they were all over that movie.
He even punched out Bob Barker. And
The
you know
price
what?
is wrong.
That was a. Nobody was like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah.
Happy Madison Productions is in favor of elder abuse, right? I mean,
Right.
That's why this.
Right.
I do think this
Right.
is like a conspiracy because of that. I mean, it does seem like this may be. It's just so contrived. It's hard for me to believe that cancel culture has been resurrected in such a short time after what the nation's been through for the last 10 years, and how 2024 was kind of the zenith of it, or it went away. The zenith of it was probably
Yeah.
like 20.
But that, as we'll talk about in a little bit, there's a grovel pushback now too that is prevalent and that was not there back then. Back then, you would get no defense. It was all contrived groveling.
Right.
It was all about groveling. So you would never get any companies say, "Well, no, actually, that's not what it meant at all. This is a complete hoax, and I'm sorry, but we're going to defend ourselves."
Right.
All you got was this numb contrition of just an annoying placating to the mob. And now at least there's a little bit of a balance, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely different, but that's why it's
See
so
stuff-
weird.
that's why it ticks
it's
us
like
off now.
Most
We-
people
we
that
see
play
this,
golf
we're
are
like,
on the right.
Yeah.
There are no leftists that are playing golf yet. There's not. What are they trying to? Are they really trying to get like? Or what are they trying to recruit the LGBT? We really need the LGBT to come into our game and get good. I mean, what are they doing? I don't
It's
understand.
like when you see people like Jelly Roll do what he did, and
Yeah.
you're like, dude, you didn't have to do that. It's
Right.
2026.
Yep.
You were fine being real. Like, you don't have to go on the Kimmel show and be a donkey.
Makes me think they
for the
got
left.
something on that guy.
It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
There's no way that that's you.
Robbie Starbuck says Callaway CEO Chip Brewer is an idiot. I basically said as much yesterday. They've now done multiple statements about this ad, complete with a pro-DEI rant, and they ended their relationship with Good Golf brand. You'd think the ad included a husband beating his wife. It does not. The ad was a satire of obsession where the guy is obsessed with his driver and tackles a woman who reaches for it. Remember Betty White getting tackled in the Snickers ad? Somebody mentioned that in our comments yesterday. Did anyone think it was promoting elder abuse? No, because we're not mentally ill. Does Chip know his demographic for Callaway? It includes a lot of people who oppose DEI and idiotic groveling to woke mobs. If those people realize he's doing this, this could get bad for Callaway. Oh, and the worst thing about the ad was bad acting. That's it. It was very obviously a joke. By the way, can I ask a question? Was Roby Starbuck watching our show yesterday? Honest question. He uses the word groveling after we created a brand new segment yesterday called Grovel Games, and he mentions Betty White, which was mentioned on our show yesterday because we had somebody astute in the comments.
Robbie, let's collaborate. Come on,
Yeah,
call
yeah,
us.
we can collaborate with you, Robbie, when we can. I'm curious though. That is the chat. You guys were there. That's a remarkable coincidence.
Yeah, I was watching from the road coming back, and you guys nailed
the
it.
use of the word grovel there is we tried to pick that because we could have gone with cancel culture. We could have gone, but grovel kind of not. Anyway, we'll see though. I'm flat. If that's the case, I'm not mad about it. I mean, I'm actually quite flattered, but just something that came across the mind. Okay, so let's talk about grovel games and what you don't. We've talked about what you don't do. Let's talk about what you can do. All right, which would be this: Texas Roadhouse posting the post.
Here we go.
Alleging the targeting of diners and food tampering based on race has been proven an online hoax. Our third-party online forensics firm, as well as multiple credible online publications, have confirmed this is a baseless rumor. We love our communities and we remain committed to providing the legendary legendary service to each and every guest we serve. So here's USA Today. Texas Roadhouse says racism, food tampering allegations are 100% hoax. So they're pushing back against this.
Good. And
they're saying that the assertions that employees are tampering with black diners' food, calling the allegations a hoax, and saying it is hiring a third-party firm to investigate. In a now deleted social media post allegedly shared in a Facebook group called White and Proud, a user named Nancy Smith said they worked at an unidentified Texas Roadhouse location and was in a pact with other white servers at the restaurant. While it's unclear whether the page that posted the message is real or a parody account, the user said in the post that some servers at both Texas Roadhouse and Logan's Roadhouse plan to lick their fingers and touch food before serving it to blacks. Texas Road. So you talk about conspiracy.
Yeah.
If that is in fact a hoax and the liberal media took it up and ran with it, why would they do that? Why would they not do their due diligence? Well, because Texas Roadhouse is a place that that southern, I don't know if there's any in the north. I'm sure there are, but it's a place. Yeah. It's a place that conservatives like to go and eat. And this is a way to try to stoke the race relations, stoke the racial fears, to get people divided, and to create some sort of race war. That's their goal. That's always their
They're
MO.
probably combating too the positive news and positive energy that Texas Roadhouse is on after that Australian guy during the World Cup came over and posted that video. He's like, "Oh, I take my son to Texas Roadhouse, and we walk in there and they give us a bag of peanuts, and we say, no, we didn't order those. They, no problem. You can just have them, and then they take us to our table, and they give us these rolls of bread." And we're like, no, we didn't order any bread. They're like, no, you can have it for free. Just have it for free. And they bring us unlimited drinks and our refills. And my son's looking at me like, Dad, I get an extra Diet Dr. Pepper. Or I get an extra Dr. Pepper. And he's like, and they have the most amazing food and the most amazing people and these steaks and chicken and shrimp on the barbie. He's like, and all my friends from Australia are like, oh, over there you have to tip when you go to restaurants in America. And he's like, no, I want to tip. These are the nicest people in the world at Texas Roadhouse. So thank you, Texas Roadhouse. So they're on like this track of awesome news and awesome energy and stuff. And then here comes the woke mob like, oh, well, actually, you're being mean to minorities and, putting them into their sections and feeding them spit food. It's like, no, stop. Sorry about my...
love it.
Sorry about my...
I love every second of it.
That guy was just so funny because he's like, we're having such a great time in America. And we don't go out to eat in Europe very much. But, man, when we came to America, we went to Texas Roadhouse, and we had the best experience in the world.
I mean, you talk about white pills. It was one of the white pills of the year for me was watching these Western Europeans marvel at how great America was. It really was a great thing. Here's an update. So about 15 minutes ago, about 6 minutes ago, but about 15 minutes before that, the jury in the Lindsay Clancy case had a question, and so they had to resume court for a moment. And 6 minutes ago, Fox News reporting the judge and attorneys have now finished discussing the jury's question in Lindsay Clancy's murder trial, but they did not address what the note was. So they did not tell the court publicly what the question was, so we don't know. The courtroom is back in recess, and the jury continues deliberating. And, of course, we talked about this last hour.
Man, wouldn't you love to be a fly on the wall in that room?
Yeah, absolutely.
My goodness.
Absolutely.
I think the jury should have been sequestered for and they haven't been for a long time. But for something like this, my gosh, it seems like they would have been held to a lot more strict confidentiality and sequestering standards than they have been. But who am I?
Sorry,
not my industry.
Yeah. So real quick, we got a few segments that I want to get to before the show's over. So from this next segment is going to be kind of a wild one. It's not going to go where you think. Maybe it will. It's time for My Cold Dead Hands. So for this edition of My Cold Dead Hands, we go to this story from yesterday. Headline, Social Media Erupts. Social media erupts after cops reportedly raid home of Ilhan Omar's son. Not a good look. Omar's son has not been implicated in any wrongdoing after roommate Abdul Rahman Abdi was reportedly arrested. Social media is in a frenzy over a report that police raided the home of Representative Ilhan Omar's son. Minneapolis police raided the home of Adnan Hirsi earlier this week and confiscated guns and ammunition before arresting his roommate. Now, the reason why this is an interesting post is because people have, you see the Inside Wire. Inside Wire reported 20 hours ago, police raid home of Representative Ilhan Omar's son, seize guns and ammunition. people have seized on previous tweets from Representative Ilhan Omar when she said this, quote, "There are 120.5 firearms for every 100 Americans and still have 67 million guns left over. Gun violence is an epidemic in our country." Apparently her son wants to keep and bear arms, I guess. I guess her son disagrees.
How American.
Or is it...
How patriotic of him.
Is it rules for thee and not for me? Is it a rules for thee and not for me situation? And I think that's probably closer to the truth. So, yeah.
The quicker we can get her out of Congress, the better.
You think right now, okay, do you think right now, because there's also reports earlier in the week that she may actually get deported. You still say no?
No.
You don't think it actually happens? You think there'll be an effort to do it, though?
Hope springs eternal, but no, I don't have faith in that becoming a reality.
Okay.
I would love for it to happen, and that's why I want to do reverse psychology on my take on that, because I'm gonna say that it won't happen, so that when it does, it can be celebrated to the degree that I will celebrate it if it ever does.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my take.
I will celebrate it as well. You want to feel old, Eric? I saved this one for you. Actually,
I refuse.
You want to feel old? So,
no.
Live from America, TV host Kevin Smith, which I'm sure you guys all know and love. He has this viral tweet, 9.5 million views. Actually, it may be more than that. Let me go to the actual one. 12.8 million views. He said, "Everyone in this scene from Home Alone 2 is dead. Let that sink in."
This is tough.
And so we've got the deaths of, this year. Obviously, Tim Curry died this week, and the other two actors slipped my mind. But she's fantastic. But I can't. Her name escapes me. Do you remember her name?
Who's that? Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah, Catherine O'Hara. Yeah. And then Kevin's dad as well. Can't remember that guy's name either. But it does make you feel super old. This was our childhood, man. This was it.
This is.
This was our childhood.
Wow, you're right. All in that scene right there, all three of them.
We're all so old now.
This is sad.
What do we do? I'm having a midlife crisis here.
Yeah.
Live on the air. What exactly do we do? All right, moving on. It's now time for Fourth Amendment funeral. For this edition of Fourth Amendment Funeral, we go to this headline. Flock Safety CEO Garrett Langley calls for national compromise amid camera sabotage and public revolt. So this headline gets interpreted, can get reinterpreted, I think correctly, by the way, to say Flock Safety CEO says that we have to compromise our Fourth Amendment rights for his business.
Imagine the audacity of that, using the word compromise.
You use the word compromise. You're wanting us to compromise on our Fourth Amendment rights? I saw this the other day.
Excuse me?
I saw a theologian. His name escapes me because I commented on it. Well, you know what? I can just go there and probably find it myself. What is his name?
For national-
Carl Trueman. That's right. So the theologian, he's a writer, Carl Trueman, and he writes some good things sometimes, right? But he posted on Twitter. He just said, "Hey, look, they've used flock cameras to catch a lot of bad guys, criminals in my area."
Yeah.
That's right. Well, I couldn't help it last night. I just was like, love your neighbor and give up your Fourth Amendment right? ? Because we all remember when, pastors and ministers and theologians and parachurch ministries said that we needed to love our neighbor by wearing a mask or to love our neighbor by getting a vaccine.
Jesus would wear a mask.
And now that's what we're going to hear. Because you can potentially catch criminals you otherwise wouldn't, it is unloving if you want your own privacy and you want to be secure in your papers and effects. That is what may come when this is all said and done over this issue. Now, thankfully, Senator Josh Hawley has some words, and he has sent a letter to Garrett Langley, the CEO of Flock. By the way, I still can't get over that the guy's last name is Langley in the CIA, and it's like nature just the Lord has a sense of humor about things.
Yeah, he lives in Virginia.
Yeah, and then it's like the guy that got caught messing with lying about Trump and the Ukraine phone call and impeachment. The guy's name is Eric Ciaramella, but it's spelled CIA. Ciaramella is spelled CIA. First three letters of his last name. We'll see. What are you talking about? All right. So, dear
And this guy's favorite author or favorite character is John Ryan.
Yeah, Jack Ryan. Yeah.
Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, but Jack is a domesticity of John, I believe. So you're good with that. John Ryan, Jack Ryan.
Appreciate it.
Domesticity. Not a word you hear every day, but it was in there somewhere. It was in here somewhere. As chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Josh Hawley writes, on crime and counterterrorism, I'm investigating Flock Safety's collection, retention, and dissemination of the data generated by its artificial intelligence surveillance cameras. In a few short years, Flock has assembled an unprecedented national surveillance network. Your company boasts more than 120,000 cameras across 49 states and more than 20 billion vehicle scans every month. The overwhelming majority of the Americans captured on those records did nothing wrong. Instead of serving discrete local investigations as contemplated by our constitutional process and safeguards, these camera networks harness artificial intelligence to pool what they capture into a national database that customers can search. Recent examples of abuse and misuse of personal data reveal the woeful lack of safeguards in these systems. In Missouri, the St. Charles County Police Department terminated its contract this month after an audit revealed that a civilian employee had run Flock searches for personal reasons, completely unrelated to their law enforcement duties. Sadly, my home state is not an outlier. In Milwaukee, prosecutors charged a police officer who allegedly searched his girlfriend's license plate 124 times and her former boyfriend's plate 55 times, entering investigation as his justification each time. Worse still, the officer was not caught by the company's audit systems. He was caught because a private citizen looked up his own plate on a public website. Errors and false positives add insult to injury. A Florida woman spent 13 days in jail and faced 8 felony counts, including 3 counts of vehicular homicide, after investigators arrested an owner based on their search of Flock's network for a vehicle description. Prosecutors dismissed the charges 7 months later when law enforcement discovered the error and arrested a different person. One California police department found that a staggering 71% of its alerts were wrong, and the Los Angeles Police Department dropped its Flock contract after an audit showed officers had stopped 161 vehicles incorrectly flagged as stolen in the space of 2 months. 160 false stops in 2 months. Hawley goes on. Furthermore, once cameras collect driver data, uncertainty abounds in how your company and its customers can sell or use that data. Flock's $8.3 billion valuation, this company is valued at $8.3 billion. He says it comes with an enormous pressure to find new commercial applications for your data. Americans demand a full accounting for how their driver data is stored or sold. To be sure, I want law enforcement to have tools, catch offenders, keep the public safe, but Americans do not surrender their privacy rights when they drive to work, drop their kids off at school, or go to church. The Supreme Court has recognized that a comprehensive, retrospective record of a person's movements is different in kind from ordinary observation in public. Congress, listen, this is the best part of the letter. Congress never authorized the network your industry has built. Your company's internal policies are, in practice, the only safeguards for hundreds of millions of Americans. People across the country are now discovering that fact and demanding answers from their elected officials. And in light of this abuse of driver information, the American people want to know who has access to their personal data and how. This investigation will seek those answers, and to facilitate that, please produce all documents and information specified in the attached annex no later than September 8th, 2026. Sincerely, Senator from Missouri, Josh Hawley. I thought that was a good letter. Now, let's hope it's not just a letter. We don't want it to stop at a letter, but it's got to start somewhere. All right?
A letter is a letter. So think about the difference in a traffic stop in those 161 stops where this is not speeding. This is not running a red light. This is not your insurance tags are expired and I'm pulling you over. Think about the difference in that cop's
Stolen
mentality
vehicle.
of this is a suspected stolen vehicle, and
probably armed.
I was going to say, just the nuances and the emotions and the adrenaline in the mind of a police officer pulling over a vehicle that's suspected as being stolen, and what they think might be in the seats of that sorry, but that's a big problem.
I agree. I agree. You're basically saying, look, we're talking about people putting their lives, your lives at a much higher risk if you're getting stopped. As an innocent person, if you're getting stopped and they think you've stolen a vehicle, your life is things could go sideways a lot quicker.
That's my point. That's exactly my point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's terrifying, actually. Here's Here's Ron DeSantis. He recently was asked about flock cameras and went off on and said this.
Line with digital surveillance or whether it's with cameras, at what point are we just going to be free to not have to deal with any of that? And so I think it needs to be overhauled for sure. I know New Hampshire did something that really kept it. It's interesting. They put something in a bill about using them on state, so the sheriffs and the police can use it on state right-of-ways. And I asked Jared, I said, well, is the state involved? State doesn't get any of the information or anything. It's just like they're doing it, so we don't even really know, like the police department or whatever. And when I see like a police officer using this to track like an ex-girlfriend, I'm like, what the hell's going on, with this? So I think this has happened very quickly. I think people are right to be concerned. I wanted an AI Bill of Rights that could have addressed this and other issues. The Senate passed a product, and the House in Florida, they wouldn't even do anything about it. Now think about it. All the stuff online about how I don't want to be in a situation where these tech companies, a handful of tech companies, know everything about you and know where you're going. And I know they collect a lot as it is, but I think it's going to get a lot worse unless we have some protections for the people in Florida. And so it's going to need to be, but the only way it could be dealt with is legislatively. This is not something that, it's something that's being implemented primarily at the local level. And you're going to need the legislature to provide protections for people. So what I would say is if it's something you're concerned about, then I think you should talk to the people running for office, particularly for the legislature.
Yeah, 100%. We are, I feel like the show has come full circle with where we started. And so we may have people watching the show right now that missed the beginning portion of the show, that missed where this show started. So with robots. That's right, with robots. So just real quick, it's a Friday, it's laid back, we're winding down the show. Let's do it again. Building Skynet redo. Yeah, this is not good. But here it is. This was it. This was Eric Haynes, our very own Eric Haynes in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
The Southern Hills Marriott in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Getting to meet Tulsi.
Getting to meet the robot.
How about the Tall Grass Bar and Grill, right here in the hotel, just to your right past the ramp. If you're feeling adventurous outside, Mother Road Market's got a fair bit of variety. Or India Palace for some chicken tikka masala. Or if you're craving bold Cajun flavors, Nola's is a mighty fine pick.
Thanks so much.
We'd love to hear about your dining experiences. Have you had a chance to enjoy the breakfast buffet, or perhaps a quiet evening at Tall Grass Bar and Grill?
No.
Fair enough. Can't complain then. You just let me know if anything changes, all right?
It's just so creepy, man.
Yeah, it is. It was a creepy experience. It really was.
But this is the future, and all to save a buck, man. I mean, because honestly, there's going to be so many people that resent this, like you resented it. Like our initial reaction is disgust. It's intrigue, but it's disgust.
I like the interaction with concierges sometimes. When I'm traveling and I'm in an unfamiliar place, like I want to be able to say, hey, what's good to eat around here? I don't just want to Uber Eats.
Yeah.
Like I'd like to actually just go out and see some of the local culture. As far as food, I'm a foodie myself. Like that's what I want to do.
Well, I guess I'm thinking like
This thing was pre-programmed to tell me
this. Here's the deal. If I'm like the propagandist trying to get everybody to accept this is definitely not where I start. This is what you add on at the end. This doesn't really make your life more convenient. If anything, it creeps you out. They're gonna if they really want mass robot adoption, what they're gonna have to do is get the robots that actually make our lives easier, not more complicated. Because there's a delay. You ask the question, there's a long delay.
Yep.
I just I don't get it. Like,
and to Rob's point about the helmet, I think the helmet is intentionally meant to like dummy it down a little bit and make it, oh, this is just some like helpful bike rider, just somebody or somebody that's I think that's part of the shtick. I think it's intentional to not really see what's going on under the helmet.
Yeah. That's
because
a good point.
Again, to my point about like it's using facial recognition and my emotions. It says that in the messaging about these robots that Marriott is using for their concierge services is that they use my emotions and not just my language but my emotion, and it's recognized. So what is it storing up there in that brain under that little funny helmet it's wearing?
Man, I don't know, but it's a brave new world out there, and I don't want anything to do with it. Let's hope that Buc-ee's never actually puts in a bunch of robots. They'll have a massive revolt on their hands. Last story of the week. This is our number 10 of broadcasting this week. We do appreciate you guys being with us. Life's too short. Buc-ee's CEO won't build in blue states that don't appreciate the brand. We're building in a lot of places, he says, but when you find a conservative, business-friendly state with a phenomenal workforce, it makes a difference. So Arkansas just got its first Buc-ee's. Have you been to it yet?
I was actually at the Embassy Suites in Little Rock when they were doing the interviews. There were news stations all over the place. There were people lined up all the way out the door of the main lobby of that hotel to interview for the new Buc-ee's. And I've gone past it and seen it multiple times when I've gone to Hot Springs, and it is like, I mean, it is
jam-packed.
It is huge.
And
this place is massive.
And Arkansas is getting a second one in West Memphis.
Yes.
Which is the best thing to happen to West
Absolutely.
Memphis. It's
Maybe they can fix the smell.
It's like the best thing that could happen to West Memphis since, I mean, the Buc-ee's being there is better than the founding of West Memphis. I'm sorry. The Buc-ee's is better than when the city actually started, because West Memphis is famous for being a town that is unsafe, and it's a town that you just accelerate through and you try to get there.
Is the property going to be close to the casino and dog track?
You would think. Now, they've eliminated the dog track.
Yes, right.
Because of
it's
the
just
smell.
Called Southland now.
Right.
But
There's
not,
a casino there now.
Yes.
That is I'm assuming is pulling a lot of people in from Memphis and in the surrounding area as well. But yeah, we're getting a Buc-ee's in West Memphis, which is going to be interesting. People will no longer accelerate through the town.
Well, the CEO's smart. He knows where to build.
That's right. They will be forced to stay. So yeah, life's too short to build in blue states. There's going to be more and more people coming to that conclusion if they haven't already. So.
Amen.
A lot of people think that Buc-ee's can't maintain this. It'll be interesting to see what their longevity is. Can they maintain essentially turning gas station, like combining the concept of a gas station and a mall? That's essentially what they got going on. It's a mall gas station.
Call me a simpleton, but the experience in a Buc-ee's is very pleasant and fun. The experience talking to that robot, asking him what restaurant to go eat at, that wasn't pleasant because I knew that was programmed. It was
100%.
It was nonsense. Why would I talk to a robot concierge? You haven't been to any of those things.
Right.
So
100%.
I'm all for Buc-ee's.
Folks, that's all the time that we have. It's Friday, so this is where I tell you to go to church. If you don't go to church, try to find a church. Sometimes it's harder in different areas, like blue states. Find a church that preaches the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ and his mighty ability to save sinners, and gather with him and worship him this Sunday. For those of you who do go to church, have a blessed Lord's Day. We will be back here on Monday with bells on. God bless. We're going to hand it over to Jeremy Harrell. Live from America starts next.